When I was a child, I was victimized sexually by a relative. What that taught me was how to hide. What it taught me was that I could be used for my body. And what it also taught me was that I would learn how to hate myself. So as I went through my teenage years and even into my early adulthood, entering college, not only did I have a false sense of who I was, but I had a false sense of who men were. I had a false sense of who God was. See, because although I experienced, the childhood sexual abuse, my freshman year of college, I was a victim of date rape. Here's the thing about it. I was raped by a minister. And the church told me to be quiet about it. So what did that teach me? That taught me that now, not only could I not trust men, I had a big time trust in God. I knew that He loved me, I just didn't know that He would protect me. Not being taught that it was okay to question God, I thought I had to keep that silent. So here I am, I'm going to church, I'm in college, I'm serving in ministry, and I got like this love-hate relationship with God. And I'm like, on the one hand, God, you love me, but on the other hand, if you love me, why would you let these things happen to me? Why would you let me be victimized as a child? Why would you allow me to be victimized again in my freshman year of college? Why would you let these things happen? What I had to learn was that, yes, God allowed them. He didn't cause them, but He allowed them. As painful as it was, I couldn't see it at the time, but God was with me. He was with me when I was a child. Why? Because He kept me from a lot of things. He was with me even my freshman year of college and thereafter. How so? He didn't allow more damage to happen. Now what He did do was He took what had occurred and He took those ashes and He turned them into beauty. That's really what I want to talk to you about. Turning those ashes, turning those painful experiences into beauty. How did God do that for me? Well, number one, He let me come to Him with all of my questions, with all of my fears, with all of my doubts. He began to tell me that He loved me. He began to tell me that I wasn't dirty. He began to tell me that I wasn't damaged goods. These were things that I thought that I was as a result of being victimized. That was a journey, you all. And to be honest with you, I'm still on that journey. Let me share a little bit of it with you. My freshman year of college, as I shared with you, I was victimized through date rape. That taught me a lot. I began to think that, you know what? Well, if this is what men want from me, and if this is the only way that I'm going to be in a relationship, then let's just go for it. Let me do the hiding game, be one way in the church and another way out in public, and be another way while I'm all by myself. See, because when I was by myself, this is what I did. I did a lot of self-hatred talk. I told myself I was no good. I told myself I was low down. I told myself I was dirty. I told myself the only thing that I was good for was sex. That was it. So that's what I look for in men. I look for men who weren't going to treat me with respect. I look for men who were going to be in a relationship with me and 2 or 3 other women, because I thought that that was all that I was good for. And it wasn't until God really began to deal with me that I learned, Tanyka, you are more than just your body. You are more than what you can give to men in a sexual way. This was a process. My freshman year of college, I was sitting in the dorm, and you know how you have those meetings, once a month? The resident director called a meeting with all the females, and she talked about her own victimization. And as a result of that victimization, it really was what led me to seek help. When that meeting was over, I went to her and I told her, thank you for this, but how could you? And she looked at me and she said, I did this because of you. And she embraced me. And you all, when she gave me that hug, it was like God Himself was just loving on me. And then she gave me a number, and it was a number of a counselor. I called the counselor and I hung up. I called the counselor again and I hung up. I called her a 3rd time, and this is what she said. I know this is the same person, and when you're ready, I'm here. And I asked her, where is here? And she told me the name of the counseling agency, and she gave me the address. And so I went. And that began my journey. As scared as I was, as much as I had told myself that nobody was going to understand and that people were going to judge me, you know what? She didn't. She let me tell my story. I worked with her for some months, and then I stopped. I resumed again. Why did I stop? I stopped because God wanted to go some places in that healing journey that I didn't really want to go. And so because I was scared and because I was fearful and because I really didn't know that that was a part of the journey, I just stopped. I resumed again at a later point, and it got me to a different place, and I was so grateful for it. I now thought that I was ready to enter real relationships, so I got married. In my marriage, it was riddled with addiction and infidelity. Not just on his part, but the addiction was on mine as well. Because I hadn't been totally healed. I hadn't been totally delivered from the effects of my childhood abuse and from the date rape. You all, healing is a journey. It's not an event. It doesn't happen overnight, and it does happen in layers. Well, my marriage ended in divorce, and here I was again, like, I can't trust a man. God, why did this happen again? And God had to work on me some more. He had to share with me, you know what? Yes, that is what happened, but you are still my beloved. Yes, that is what happened, but I still have plans for you. Yes, that is what happened, but I'm going to teach you again that I'm going to turn these ashes into beauty, and I'm going to give you the oil of joy for mourning. Well, what does the oil of joy for mourning look like? It looks like this. It looks like reaching out to women just like you, who have been victimized, whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's sexual addiction, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's date rape, and letting you know, number one, you are not alone. Number two, you are not dirty. Number three, you are not trash. Most importantly, that God loves you. And he was right there with you in the midst of the pain. Like I said before, I didn't see it at first because all I saw was my pain. But as God began to take back and peel back the layers of the pain, and he began to peel back the lies that I had told myself and that I had allowed others to speak over me, he showed me how he was right there. He showed that in the times at night when I was by myself and nobody was present, but I was crying, he was the one that came and comforted me. He began to talk to me about the plans that he had for my life. He began to show me how valuable I was, not only to him, but to others. And then he began to allow me to talk to other women, you know, individually or in groups of people, and sharing bits and pieces of my story. And these women would go, I thought I was the only one. Or thank you for letting me know that thought you've had too. And I want to tell you right now, if you're feeling as though no one could understand, if you're feeling as if there's not a place where you can go, if you're thinking that you're never going to be healed, that you're always going to be in dysfunctional relationships, the devil is a liar. And I'm here to tell you, you can have a healthy relationship, and you can go from hurt to healed to whole. God has done it for me. And again, it's a process. It's not an event. I wish I could tell you that it happens overnight, but it doesn't. I wish I could tell you that you never cry again, but you will. But you will learn that instead of tears of mourning, there will be tears of joy. I invite you, if you just want to talk, if you just want someone to hear your story, or if you know that you're ready to begin this healing journey, I invite you to contact me. You'll find my information at the end of the video. Thank you very much. God bless you.